Daytona. It's Daytona week. Here we are. It's go time. Today, I'm going to be reviewing all the paint schemes for the upcoming Daytona 500. This is one of the biggest entry lists we have gotten in some time. That said, let's jump into it. First up, we got Raze Energy. He's going to be running the Busch Light machine. This one's a beauty. Busch is doing a big push for the Daytona 500, even featuring Raze Energy in a Super Bowl commercial. I said it in the past, this car is icy and refreshing. I dig it. Next up, not locked into the race, is Corey LaJoie, the 01 Take 5 oil change machine. He brought his own brand into this paint scheme. We got the 01 Stacking Pennies is his podcast. We have a penny on the door number. Corey is running part-time. You guys bullied this man out of a full-time ride and almost ruined his career, but he's coming back. A Daytona 500 win will save everything for this man. Here's the Daytona 500 champion, Austin Cindric with Discount Tire. No changes going on to this paint scheme. They've been running pretty much the same paint scheme every year. Minor changes, but can he get his second Daytona 500 is the big question. Austin Dillon will be carrying the Bass Pro Shops colors. There's more than one Bass Pro Shops machine in the Daytona 500, but this is the first of many. A new face, a new place is Noah Gragson. This is the number 4 Rush Truck Centers machine. It looks like it's a Stuart Haas car. Absolutely not. It's a Front Row Motorsports machine. Kyle Larson with the brand identity of HendrickCars.com, a paint scheme that will not change anytime soon. I dig it though. I really like it. He has really built into the brand of this car, and man, Kyle Larson chasing his first ever Daytona 500 is going to be big. That's one thing he wants to knock off the bucket list in his career. Here's my man, my favorite driver, Brad Keselowski. He's going to be sponsored by Kroger on the hood of that car. Justin Haley will be sponsored by Chili's. This car has not been unveiled yet, but could very possibly look identical to last year's car that Corey LaJoie ran. Kyle Busch will be officially driving the Zone paint scheme, just like he drove in the Clash at Bowman Gray Stadium. Chase Elliott has a new paint scheme for car number 9. He's another driver that has a championship and looking for a Daytona 500 to continue painting his legacy. I think it'll be really cool to see Chase Elliott knock off a Daytona 500 if he can be there at the end. We know he's going to have the horsepower, we know he's going to have the car, and we know he's going to have the teammates come the end of it. It's just a matter of putting the whole race together for Chase Elliott. Ty Dillon's back in the Cup Series, driving for Calling. He'll be sponsored by Grizzly at Daytona. Denny Hamlin, for the first time in his career, he's going to be showing up to Daytona without FedEx on the hood. He'll be sponsored by National Debt Relief, which is a pretty ironic sponsor considering he just lost FedEx, but this car is very American, red, white, and blue on it. I think it's gonna really fit right in with Daytona, and that appears to be his primary sponsor throughout the season. Menards will be on board with Ryan Blaney once again. Blaney is a champion. He's always strong at Daytona. He has won there in the past, but not the Daytona 500. He has always been strong at Talladega as well, with a lot of wins. I think this guy may have the best odds this year. He may be that guy. He may be him. He may be able to get it done. AJ Allmendinger's back in the Cup Series, and so is Celsius. I believe Celsius and AJ is a good sponsorship pairing. I think he represents them very well. I look for AJ to not only be fast at Daytona, but as well in the road courses this year, and he's back full-time in the Cup Series. That's exactly what he wanted. Chris Buescher will be sponsored by Fastenal, and man, this car is a beauty. I love the chrome door number. I love the white, the blue, the black. This car has a lot of decals on it. I will say that. I think they kind of overkilled it with the decals, but I dig it, man. I just really like this one. It's one of my favorite paint schemes this year. I always thought that Fastenal had some of the best cars in NASCAR, and this one right here just straight proves it. This one's going to take a bit to get used to. Chase Briscoe driving the number 19 car, replacing Martin Truex Jr. I said Bass Pro Shops is sponsoring multiple cars. Well, this is the second out of 3. We've seen this one in the past. I think the fans, I hate to say it, I think we can all come together and say the paint scheme is not ugly. I'm not going to say that. I'm just not a fan of these 50-50 blends. I'm not a fan of it. It's, I feel like it needs to be one or the other. I mean, I think this car would have looked a lot better just being a straight DeWalt car or a straight interstate batteries car. I believe this is a one-off deal with DeWalt and Interstate Batteries. The Wood brothers have been dominant at Daytona throughout the years. You can go all the way back to David Pearson. You can talk about Trevor Bayne. But this year, we're talking about Josh Berry. This guy was upside down the last time we were at Daytona. This year, he's going to be gunning for a win in that bright red number 21 machine. I love the idea of one-off Daytona 500 paint schemes. That's exactly what Joey Logano is doing this upcoming season. This one is something special, man. We got a red that blends to a yellow, that blends to a white, and I guess Penske's doing something for the Indy 500 as well as the Daytona 500 here with Joey Logano, and it's just something special, man. I mean, it's a special race. I wish we had more teams doing this. So Bubba Wallace will have the fries and ketchup machine representing McDonald's very well with this paint scheme. I think it looks great. They killed it. Absolutely killed it. William Byron is a driver that is now a Daytona 500 champ. He's going for 2 back-to-back. Back with the flame job for that number 24. Looks crazy, man. Cool looking paint scheme. I did like last year's a little bit better. The white and blue flames last year just looked very sharp. The number 34, Todd Gilliland, will be sponsored by Loves. This is going to be another one that's going to take a bit to get used to. I mean, we've seen Michael McDowell really build his own legacy with that 34, parking it in victory lane at Daytona, winning at the Brickyard with it. And now we got Todd Gilliland behind the wheel. New face, new place is Riley Herbst. Now, I'm a big fan of Riley. Everyone said Riley isn't ready for the Cup Series. And here we are. He's driving for 2311. He's going to have the Monster Energy Zero Sugar car. He has a few wins in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, 2 of them coming with a final out pass. The 38, that's a sexy looking car. Speedy Cash, we got some flames on this one. Normally, I'm not a fan of flames being on race cars unless it's the 24 because a lot of them have failed at it. But I think just the green and black, it looks very good, and they didn't overkill it. They just made it look fast. They didn't make it look like, in your face, here's some flames. The junior fans can rejoice. Junior Motorsports will be attempting the Daytona 500 with Justin Allgaier, car number 40, Travelers Whiskey Blend. We all want to see the car in the race. He's not locked in. He has to qualify his way in, or he has to race his way in. Cole Custer will be driving for the Haas Factory team for the number 41 car. New number font for the 41. All new team. I don't have expectations for this team. John Hunter Nemechek will be rocking the Dollar Tree colors. Eric Jones will have Avert Health on his car. Moving on to the 44 car. This is going to be JJ Yaley, and he'll be sponsored by Green River. Now, I don't think anyone's expecting this team to make the race. We just don't. It's not hating, we just don't expect it. They may shock me. They may shock me. We got a lot of entries, and that could mean a big crash in the duels. They could be that guy to make the race, and the underdog team may get it done. Although we do have 3 Monster Energy cars in the field, we got the Zero Sugar by Riley Herbst. We have the Beast, which is the alcohol Monster Energy for Tyler Reddick. Cool paint scheme for him. And then coming up, we're going to see with Ty Gibbs, he just has normal Monster Energy. So the branding is really well done for Monster for how many cars they are sponsoring. Tyler Reddick is a driver that's getting better by the year, and I think he's one of them that's going to come into his own over the next couple years, build a pretty powerful fan base, and potentially be one of the best in the sport right there with Kyle Larson and Christopher Bale for the coming years. Ricky Stenhouse is a Daytona 500 champion. He just won at Talladega last season. He's going to have Sonny D on board of that number 47 car. I'm surprised. Even though they had a rebrand with the team, they're going with the same number font, the same old 47 car. It seems like they're keeping what sponsorship they did have of Sonny D, and I believe NOS Energy will be sticking around as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of positives here for this team, although there is a lot of changes. I think Ricky is one of the best super speedway drivers in the field. He may be a missile at times, but he's either going to win or crash trying to win. We know what's going to happen. The Ally machine for Alex Bowman is a beautiful one. Ally brings some of the best paint schemes to the table every single year. They always bring something that's more in the graphic department, more futuristic than any other paint scheme. We got Cody Ware driving for Jacob Construction. This is a new paint scheme. And welcome back to the Cup Series, Cody Ware. I mean, I love the Ware family. I'm happy to see Cody back. I had Carson Ware on my podcast a few months back. That was a great conversation. Maybe we'll get Cody Ware on there at some point. Here's the 54 Monster Energy machine. Not much to say about it. It's just a black car. Martin Truex Jr., this guy has to make the race. Please, Martin, make the race. Bass Pro Shops on the car. 56. I'm reminded of the MWR days. We got some camo. We got some black. It's not Joe Gibbs Racing, it's Tricon, but it's a Joe Gibbs Racing car. Let's not get it wrong, it's a Joe Gibbs Racing car. Tricon is just the label on it because Joe Gibbs can't run a 5th car. Ryan Preece will be driving the BuiltSubmarines.com Ford. I think this is a beautiful car. It's good to see Ryan Preece finally get a half-decent opportunity in the Cup Series. He's going to make the most out of it. He was fast in the Clash, and I think he's going to win a race this year. So next up, we have Anthony Alfredo. He's going to be driving for 40 Building. Mike Wallace was robbed. Chandler Smith will be attempting the Daytona 500 for Quick Tie. I'm petty, man. I'm petty. I wanted Mike Wallace to drive this car. Let's move on to the next one. I don't want to talk about it. Go Bowling is back in the NASCAR Cup Series. They have been here for quite a minute, man. Sponsoring multiple teams over time, and this year, Spire Motorsports is the team that they are sponsoring for the Daytona 500 with Michael McDowell. He's gonna have teammate Carson Hocevar in the 77 car. Carson will be driving for Zengler, which is a sponsor that's been in the Cup Series for many years with Josh Balicki. Now Carson Hocevar. BJ McLeod continues returning to the NASCAR Cup Series. He'll be back in the number 78. Sponsored by Hitch Go. Jimmy Johnson will be running a special Shaq designed number 84 for Legacy. The 88 car is back. SVG will be running full-time with WeatherTech on board for the Daytona 500. Elio Cafanevis will be sponsored by Wendy's. He will be racing in the Daytona 500. As I'm making this video, they haven't put the paint scheme out. If you see it on the screen, you got lucky because I got it during editing. So I don't really know how it's gonna look. And finally, we got Daniel Suarez with the 99freeway.com machine. Beautiful car. That's gonna be a wrap for the Daytona 500 paint preview. It's gonna be a fun one. I'm gonna be at Daytona this weekend. If you see me, say what's up. I'll be in the garage area. I have an announcement coming up. I am gonna be working for DGM this year and Drive Smart, and I'm gonna be at every single event. So stay tuned for that. I'll probably make an announcement here in the next couple days and fill you guys in with the details. But a lot going on career-wise, and I thank a lot of you guys for that. And with that said, I'd like to thank my Patreon members. All my Tier 1 and Tier 2 Patreon members for supporting the channel. It means the absolute world to me. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in the next video.